go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education Natal, and it is indeed a pleasure to be here with you this morning as we try to ensure that we bring you up to speed and keep you up to date with what's happening within our ministry throughout every Saturday as far as possible. And so we know that we are currently in midterm break. We spoke about midterm break last week, and our students and teachers and school staff have an extended weekend which we have dubbed midterm break. The first day was yesterday, and they will also be off on Monday, October 28th, to resume regular sessions on Tuesday, promptly at the start of day. So we hope that everyone has been making proper use of the midterm break and that they will be ready, recharged to start sessions on Tuesday. By way of updates and information, just some quick reminders and updates. We were able to celebrate Bullying Awareness Day under the theme Uniting for Inclusion Through Bullying Prevention, and this is an initiative of the Department of Youth and the partnership with the Department of Education. And on Thursday, across the system, across the island, we had persons doing bullying awareness activities. We had bullying awareness messages, and we want to continue to congratulate the Department of Youth for this initiative. And of course, we'll do a bullying awareness spotlight during this morning's show to get some more perspective as it relates to bullying. Nominations are still open for the December Youth Impact 12 award, and this is in the area of volunteerism. So for December, the focus is volunteerism, and they are looking for young people who demonstrate initiative and leadership and creativity in his or her service to others. They're looking for youth who serve as role models for others in their community, and they're looking for someone who inspires others to volunteer. And so we look forward to those nominations, and they should be in by November 22nd, 2024. So for the Youth Impact 12 Awards, the nominations should be done by November 22nd, 2024, and we encourage all to get a form, nominate someone to ensure that we have proper representation there. We also want to remind you that the football tournament, the Department of Sports, Department of Education football tournament, is still very much on the way. We're down to the final week, so from a week from today will be the culminating match, the finals match. However, we had the selections for the semifinals. The semifinals takes place on Tuesday, and the matches are 5 p.m. Ivor Walters versus St. Thomas's Primary, and at 6 p.m. Charlestown Primary versus Joyston Library Primary. Let me repeat, semi-final matches according to the selection draw process. 5 p.m. Ivor Walters Primary versus St. Thomas's Primary. 6 p.m. Charlestown Primary versus Joyston Library Primary, and this all happens on Tuesday 29th October 2024. Coming out of the semifinals and finals, coming out of both semifinal matches, we will know who goes on to the finals on Saturday and who would go on to play the third place game. And so come on out and continue to support the students, and we want to continue to also thank the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank for their sponsorship, for their leadership, for their philanthropic efforts as they continue to support our students, our young people in the various areas. And so thank you, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, for your presence and their continued support. And they've also shown up throughout the matches to do fun activities, kick for cash, and they had a special presentation one day for the player of the game, and who got a special gift card, and those types of initiatives throughout. So we want to thank you, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, for these initiatives. Okay, so we are also aware that there were several other activities happening this week. We had the St. Kitts Nevis and St. Kitts and the Nevis Athletics Association, SKN Athletics, had a javelin coach here in the federation, in the person of Paul Phillip of Grenada, and he was facilitating a throws workshop for coaches across the island. He is known for coaching the Paris bronze medalist Anderson Peters in javelin, and in addition to coaching athletes who he has coached athletes who won gold at the World Championships in 2022 and 2023, and 23 coaches on Nevis were able to attend the session. It was deemed to be a very interactive session and informative session, and we want to thank the St. Kitts Nevis Athletic Association, SKN Athletics, for ensuring that we had representation here on Nevis, that the presence was also felt on Nevis for this initiative. I have a few more updates, but we will take a short break and we will return.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughan Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now it passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round, and adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Let's start the show.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Vaughan Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughan Radio. I'm Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education, ETAL, and it is indeed a pleasure to be here today and to share with you all of the various updates that we have within our ministry, so that you can be informed and you can be guided accordingly. As I said, later on we'll do a bullying awareness feature, trying to navigate and decode a bit about bullying, but we have quite a few updates left, so we will keep going through those updates. We have seen the rise of various sporting disciplines or non-traditional sports, and two of those are competitive swimming and competitive sailing, and we have various entities and clubs here on Nevis and within the federation involved in swimming. I know that we have at least three on Nevis, 3 swimming clubs on Nevis, and so we want to say commendations and kudos, and especially to the Nevis Aquatic and Sailing Center for hosting the 2024 Swim Fest, and this is an annual event, and a special congratulations to the Bring It Swim Club for winning the event. They were the most outstanding team for that day. I know that there are several coaches associated with Bring It Swim team, but I know that Coach James Weeks is also affiliated with the swim team. So congratulations to Coach Weeks, the entire team at Bring It Swim Club, and we wish you continued success. Later this week, some of the swimmers will also be traveling for a competition in Grenada, so we look forward to hearing the great results. And these swimmers, just like every other sport, they have to practice several times per week. Some of them practice every morning, some of them go out at 6 a.m. and they get started on their swimming, and they're really building a very important sport here for persons who live around, who are surrounded by water and who live so closely to the water. It is a pleasure to see the work being done by these various swim clubs, and of course the outputs and outcomes for these swim teams. We also are aware of a sailing competition happening this weekend. It started yesterday, October 25th, and so we have representatives from the St. Kitts Nevis Aquatic Federation and the Swimming and Sailing Center, the Aquatic and Sailing Center there at Oali, and they are currently in St. Martin participating in the Caribbean Dinghy Championship. There are 8 Caribbean countries participating in the competition, and we are among them, and we have some of our young sailors right out there in St. Martin having fun, I'm sure, but also competing in the events. And the competition, the races will take place over a 3-day period. So they started yesterday, they'll continue today, and then they culminate tomorrow. Commendations to the Nevis Aquatic and Sailing Center once again, and to all of the sailors, the young sailors out there participating in this competition. We wish you the very best in the competition, and as you go through the not so charted territories and the uncharted territories, we wish you every success, sailors. We also are aware that there is a federal high school football tournament happening. So on Nevis we have the Nevis football, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary School Football Tournament, which is led by the Department of Sports and in collaboration with the Department of Education. And then federally, there are some other football tournaments happening, including the high school tournament, which involves all of the public secondary schools. We want to alert you that there are matches happening for our 2 public secondary schools on both islands, but we are encouraging all persons on Nevis to, well, where you can, you support the matches on St. Kitts, but where you are not available to go to St. Kitts, we want to remind you and to share with you the schedule for those matches on Nevis. We've had some of them already, and we look forward to the students' continued success. And guess what? There is one happening today. There's a match happening today at the Mondo Track, CSS versus AVEC. On the 30th, we have GSS versus CFBC. November 1st, CSS versus Virtual High School, and that's the under 14 match. November 2nd, we have CSS versus Keon High. Then we have GSS versus SEMS on November 6th. November 8th, GSS versus CSS in an under 14 match. And these are those children who left primary school over the last 2 years or so, year or two. Those who were playing the primary school football quite recently. So that would be an interesting encounter. We also have November 9th, CSS versus Bastia High. It's an open match. GSS versus Virtuals High, under 14. That's November 15th. November 22nd, we see CSS versus Washington High. And then the 23rd, we have CSS versus Washington Archibald. That's an open match. November 29th, we have CSS versus Keon. and November 30th, that's the last match on Nevis. That's CSS versus Keon High Open. The game times each day 4 p.m. and we look forward to you going out and showing your Panther pride, your Lions pride, your Nevis pride, supporting our high school footballers. We know that we've had extensive support for our primary school students, and these primary school students become high school students who then become professional athletes or professional coaches or professional officials. And so we want you to go out and support them. We don't want the support to cut off or to end after they graduate primary school. They still look forward to our presence, they look forward to our support. So make sure this afternoon at 4 p.m. you find your way over to the Mondo track to support the CSS versus AVIC Open match, and then right after that again making sure that you are there on Wednesday to support the GSS versus CFBC match. So go on out and support, and we look forward to your presence as our players try their best and give their best, and they've been doing very well. I know that CSS won their match yesterday, and so we look forward to your continued presence and your continued support, as I said. In terms of federal competitions, we also note that there's netball happening as well, high school netball, and the Gingerland Secondary School has entered a team for the high school netball tournament, and so we look forward to all of you supporting the matches that take place at the Grell Hull Stevens Netball Complex here on Nevis. The first one on Nevis will be Tuesday 5th November, and that will be JSS versus Bastia High. That is at 5:15 p.m. at the Nevis Netball Complex. We also look forward to the 14th, Thursday 14th November, Gingerland Secondary versus Keon High, and that will also be that one is in St. Kitts. Let me skip down to the CFBC versus GSS on Saturday 16th November, and that will be at 5:15 p.m. Tuesday 19th we'll see GSS versus SEMS, and that's at 5:15 at the Grell Hull Stevens. And then we have Washington Archiville versus GSS. That takes place on the 28th of November at the Grell Hull Stevens Netball Complex. So please go on out and support our young players as they vie for the championship title for the Federal High Schools Netball Tournament. Last night's match was a draw, and so we want to say commendations to Gingerland Secondary for they were playing against SEMS last evening, and it ended in a draw 1-1, and so we want to commend them for their efforts and to encourage them to continue to work hard throughout these processes. We want them. We know that netball wasn't actively and frequently played hasn't been for a while, and so we're happy that they're getting to be reacquainted with the sport while having the opportunity to compete. And so please listeners, support our high schoolers. We have our footballers playing, we have our netballers playing, and we think that it's important, we know that it's important for you to support them and to be part of these processes. It's important to our students, very important to our students, to see you all there supporting them, and they look forward to having you around and having your presence, and we don't want to disappoint them. And so please be there, support as much as possible. Yes, we know that there are many things going on and they have many competing activities, but we also know that we are a people who would support our children as far as possible, and so we encourage you to keep doing such. All right, in relation to updates as well, there will be a cooperatives quiz happening this week. is a federal cooperatives quiz, which takes place annually during our credit union week and credit union month. And so the preliminary rounds take place firstly on St. Kitts and Nevis, and then at the end of it, the top schools from each competition would go on to compete to get the federal winner. And so the cooperatives quiz takes place on Thursday, 31st October at the Nevis Performing Arts Center at 9:30 a.m. and we will see VOJN, Mordcross and EPPS vying for the next step. Please go on out and support the schools, and then the schools with those who emerge victorious during this round will go on to the next round. So please support the students in this endeavor. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
8:60 a.m. The Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education Etal, and we have been bringing you some updates because there are so many things happening, and we wanted to make sure that everyone is on top of it, that you're aware of what's happening and where you can support our children, that you are making yourselves available to do so. We also have a few updates in relation to scholarships. However, as you are aware, the Ministry of Human Resources manages all scholarship information, and you can find out more about scholarships at NIA-HR scholarships, and we encourage you to go on to that page on Facebook or to reach out to the individuals at the Ministry of Human Resources who are responsible for managing scholarship processes, team led by Mrs. Shanola Gill and supported by Mrs. Shelley Liebert and Miss Carissa Griffin, and you can reach out to any of them and get additional information about the available scholarships. There are a few scholarships available at this time, and just to give you a heads up or at least an overview of some of them, and you can then reach out to HR to get the additional information. There is firstly the Chevening Scholarship, and we all know the Chevening Scholarship is a scholarship for master's level students. Very lucrative scholarship, and it has helped many persons from Nevis in the past, and so that it is hosted by the British High Commission. It's the UK Chevening Scholarship 2025-2026. The Ministry of Human Resources wishes to inform you of the United Kingdom's Chevening Scholarship program. The Chevening Scholarship scheme provides individuals with the opportunity to pursue a 1-year fully funded master's degree program at a UK university during the 2025-2026 academic year, and comes with the following benefits. 1. Fully funded tuition fees for your chosen university. 2. Living expenses for the duration of your studies. 3. Return flight to the UK. 4. Access to exclusive events across the UK. And 5. Joining an international Chevening network. The application process is open and it closes shortly, listeners, and it's an extensive process, so you need to make sure that you are doing your due diligence, that you're doing your proper completions, and that you're not rushing these forms. Rushed forms do not present the best front for any applicant, and these scholarships are highly competitive, and you want to make sure that you are putting out your best. As Von Radio would remind us, only the best will do, and in these cases only the best will do for the Chevening scholarship. So please make sure that you put your best effort out and that you get those completed ahead of the deadline of November 5th. For more information, go onto their website, www.chevening.org, and you can reach out to the ladies there at HR, as I stated. I gave you the names: Mrs. Murray Gill, Mrs. Liverd, and Miss Griffin. And you can just reach out to the Ministry of Human Resources to get additional information on that initiative. The University of Medicine and Health Sciences, UMHS, also has an ongoing scholarship process. We've spoken to that several times over the years. It allows for 4 individuals to be enrolled through the scholarship scheme at any given time. So as those persons who are enrolled graduate, then they open up slots for others, and so it's important for you to always have your applications on file to be considered throughout. Okay. The interested persons are asked to apply and be accepted to the UMHS or Windsor, because either one has availability, and upon acceptance you are then to apply to the Ministry of Human Resources. So you have to apply and get accepted through UMHS or Windsor. Then once you've been accepted, that's when you apply to the Ministry of Human Resources, and the applications from Nevis will then be sent to the Ministry of Human Resources and St. Kitts for under processing. What do you need? You need a cover letter, right? Request a scholarship and address it to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Human Resources, NIA, Social Security Building, Pinnis Estate, Nevis. You need an original university acceptance letter and a copy, so you'll make a copy of your acceptance letter and take it, but you also have to take the original with you. Your original birth certificate, proof of nationality or citizenship, along with a certified copy, so you have to make sure that you have both. You need your high school or college transcript, so if you completed high school but you didn't go to college, then you have your high school transcript. If you did both, then you have to take both, and you have to have an additional certified copy as well. Once again, there is no set deadline for applications. However, if you want to be considered, it is important that upon receiving your acceptance letter that you complete this scholarship application, so that the process you can get the process started and you can go through the various stages of the process. To apply, you would have to go on the websites for the schools, umhs.Caribbean-Medical-Schools, or www.windsor, that's WINDSOR.edu. And if you need any assistance and guidance, you know who to call: the wonderful ladies there at the Ministry of Human Resources there at Pinnis, and they will take you through all that you need to know to get it done. There's also currently a Russian Federation scholarship offer for 2025-2026. We know we're closing out 2024, so 2025-2026, and the NIA Ministry of Human Resources is pleased to inform that the government of Russia invites citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to apply for higher education scholarships that offer the below listed benefits: tuition fees, accommodation, and a monthly stipend. All other expenses will be borne by the candidate. Interested persons are required to do a 1-year preparatory course to learn the language. So you would have to learn the Russian language, and you'll go through that process. Kindly note that applications must be submitted online through the portal www.education-in-russia.com, and must be uploaded before the 7th of January 2025. And a copy of the submitted applications should be sent to the Ministry of Human Resources for their records as well. And if you need any support and assistance, reach out to Mrs. Gill, Mrs. Liebert, or Miss Griffin there. And the final available scholarship at this time, and we know this is scholarship time, so from October straight through to maybe January, we'll have several calls for scholarships. And so please pay keen attention, listeners. And for those of you who have persons who are interested in pursuing higher education, scholarships will help tremendously to take you over that hump. And trust me, having student loans can be a long-term burden, and if you can avoid having that burden, that would work very well for you. So the NIA Ministry of Human Resources has received the call for the Cuban scholarship for the 2025-2026 academic year, and a total of 19 scholarships are available for those persons who are interested in pursuing any of these 19. Please take note. There are 6 scholarships available in medicine, 6 postgraduate medicine. So that means for those who are going to specialize in a particular area. There are 3 non-medical career-related scholarships available. There are 2 health technology scholarships, 1 dentistry, 1 health technology. Okay, and 1 short cycle higher education program, which is equivalent to an associate's degree. So the health technology short cycle, the 1 year, that is equivalent to an associate's degree. Kindly note the following: applicants for the postgraduate degree must have graduated from Cuba with a medical degree. Applicants for the bachelor's degree must be under the age of 25. Applicants must be citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, and all documents must be accompanied by a legalized Spanish copy. And there's some Spanish, some translators here, some official translators who will be able to assist you with that for those who are completing those applications. The following documents are also required for the applications to be processed: a copy of your degree or high school diploma and transcripts, a health certificate showing a negative HIV test and negative pregnancy test, 10 1-inch photos, a recent police record, and your birth certificate. The deadline for submission is March 21st, 2025. Okay, for onward processing. And if you need information, as I said, those of us on Nevis, we go through the same persons: Mrs. Murray Gill, Mrs. Jones Liebert, or Miss Griffin. And those in St. Kitts, you can reach out to Mrs. Zahnela Mrs. Jamila Kames, and you will be able to get the assistance there. Listeners, young persons out there listening, as I said, the financial strains and constraints of having a student loan are great. They're very burdensome, and as far as possible, where you can get a scholarship, do not take yourself out of the ring. There's some young people who say, oh, somebody else is going to get it, I won't get it. And I've had these conversations even one-on-one. But you can't have that mindset. You have to try, because you never know. In some instances, you might be the only person who ends up applying, and you get it without much of a challenge. And then in some cases you apply, there are many persons who apply, and you are still able to get the scholarship. And some scholarships have limited numbers, and some scholarships are pretty open. However, our biggest challenge here, we've observed it even with some of the scholarships at the sixth form, our young people are not applying for scholarships, and the scholarships consistently have to go back to the funding agency. And I know that your parents, have various financial struggles. We've all gone through it. And even those parents who have planned for years and they have accounts set up for college funds and all of those things, they still find it a struggle. And so please, students, young people, please make it a priority for you to do some research to find out what scholarships are available and to apply for them, so that you can maximize your finances that you have on hand already. That mindset, that lack of growth mindset that some persons might have, would be one of the obstacles that you may put in place technically yourself for your lack of enthusiasm and will to apply for the available scholarships. So if you need further guidance, I've shared with you the names of the ladies at the Ministry of Human Resources, and they will walk you through the entire process. They will support you through the entire process. And so the onus is on you to initiate the contact and to ensure that you're submitting your initial documents as well. And at the end of the day, you will not be sad if you end up with a scholarship. You will be pleased, and the financial burden that will be lifted if you are able to access a scholarship will be worth it in the end. So spending a few weeks taking your time and really meticulously going through your application process, getting supports, getting recommendations according to the needs of the scholarship application, it will be worth it. And so we encourage you to take advantage of them. And some scholarships are in non-traditional places, not your usual spaces, and some persons are sometimes a bit hesitant to apply because they are in unusual places. But once again, when you see that scholarship covering tuition, books, flight, accommodation, and everything else, sometimes it's worth pursuing it. I remember the days when going to Taiwan seemed so strange and so far, and now we have a large number of students really accessing those. And so we encourage you to do the same for the various scholarships that are available. And we look forward to your continued growth in a very financially managed way where possible. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling needs for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
All right, welcome back to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education et al. And we are here. We've been sharing some updates with you, and we ended on the last break talking about some scholarships. And in that same vein, I think it's important for us to share with you an opportunity which is available for our student athletes. The U.S. Embassy to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS is excited to announce its program empowering student athletes, unlocking opportunities through U.S. education. And this initiative aims to enhance educational opportunities in sports for young people here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The program seeks to raise awareness among prospective student athletes about recruitment opportunities and the benefits of studying in the U.S. This program will include the following workshops. 1, navigating the dual admission process for student athletes, balancing academics and athletics. And remember, you realize how they refer to you athletes, and to all of you who will be prospective tertiary level athletes, you're referred to as student athletes because you have to find that balance between being a student and being an athlete. In fact, in some jurisdictions, they tell you you're a student first, an athlete second, so that you can finish your course of study. They also will have and that first session is for students and parents, so navigating the dual admission process for student athletes, balancing academics and athletics. That one is for students and parents. And then prepping coaches and counselors for the realities of the U.S. college admission process, and that is available for our coaches and counselors and teachers who support students through the process, club presidents and club executive members. All of those persons are expected to be present. So when is this happening? Very important initiative, very important for our athletes out there, for those in high school and persons in primary school. With parents, if you think that one day your child is going to become an athlete, or your grandchild or your niece or your nephew, and you want to come out to the information session, please register for the session. If you go to the Department of Youth Nevis Facebook page, there is a registration QR code and link for you to access. You need to register before November 1st, which is just around the corner, so that they will have a sense of how many persons will be present for the activity. So we see the first session taking place on Tuesday, November 19th from 9:15 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park at Penny's Beach, Nevis, and that is the student athletes and parents session that I spoke to. That's the one that says navigating the dual admission process for student athletes, balancing academics and athletics. So that one is at 9:15 a.m. and it ends at 10:45 a.m. And then the second session for coaches, counselors, sports administrators, those persons who are executive members of our various track and field and football and basketball clubs, you're invited to this one at 11 a.m. from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and it will also be at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park starting at 11 a.m. So please make sure that you are available so that we can provide proper guidance and proper support to our student athletes. We want to make sure that when they finish the processes that we have not removed access, and that they would have the minimum subject requirements to access and that type of thing. So without the information, you will not know how to guide them, and then we'll end up in a situation where I think we have found ourselves in a situation time and time again of misinformation causing students not to be able to finally get that access to the information they need. And so go on out and support. And of course, if we have any athletes who just left school, any young footballers, any young track and field athletes, young swimmers, you have sailing scholarships, you have tennis scholarships, various scholarships in the competitive athletics arena. And so we encourage you to basketball, we encourage you to get involved and to go on out for those who just recently graduated and are looking for opportunities. For those who are young, 25 and under, and you want to know what is out there for you, please go out and get some access to those bits of information as well. And of course, having the information for yourself is far better than anything else, because at the end of the day, you can also self-navigate, even though you have your support structures in place. All right, so I think those are all of the updates that we had for you. There were many. As a reminder, that school reopens for us on Tuesday, and that is also the day for the primary schools football semifinals, and so we know that will be an active day. We also take this opportunity to say congratulations to the graduating class, the 2024 graduating class of the Nevis International Secondary School. They had their ceremony on Thursday, and a very heartfelt ceremony. The school is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and so they had the 10th graduation ceremony, and it was well attended, and I think that the students, as per usual, did commendably, and so we want to say congratulations to those students who graduated on Thursday. Kudos to you, and we look forward to your continued success, students, as you your theme, I think, was very apt. It was very appropriate. Through trials, triumph. Through trials, triumph. And as I said to the students, that it was it's a reflection of their reality, but it's also a charge for them to always navigate those trials and to try their best to rise above. Special commendations to the class salutatorian in the person of Miss Akela Hanley, and the class valedictorian in the person of Miss Zion Harding. Congratulations to you both, ladies, and to the entire graduating class, the 12-member graduating class. We say kudos to you, to Miss Napier and the team at NISS. Congratulations to you as well on a job well done. For those who are inquiring and wondering about the ceremonies for the Charlestown Secondary School, Nevis Sixth Form College, and Gingerland Secondary School, Charlestown Secondary School and Nevis Sixth Form will have their ceremonies on November 26th. The first ceremony will be at 9 a.m. That will be the Charlestown Secondary School ceremony at 9 a.m. and then the Nevis Sixth Form at 3 p.m. Both ceremonies will take place at the Nevis Cultural Village. So that's the 26th of November 2024. November 28th 2024, we see Gingerland Secondary at the Gingerland Methodist Church at 9 a.m. and we want to remind you that, and we will share this with you as we get closer, because I think we're just a little under a month out, or just about a month out from these ceremonies. But as I spoke to the NISS graduation ceremony, I thought it would be appropriate to also give you some lead time, some heads up as to the upcoming celebrations for those students who graduated, who completed their fifth form and sixth form journey last school year. So thank you so much to all of those persons, those teachers, support members of the support systems of these students, for your continued support, guidance, and direction. As I stated, and I know that we are just about out of time, but the last week we had the bullying awareness activities hosted by led by the Department of Youth, and these various schools did an amazing job. They were very well. I think it has become part of the culture now, for them to pay some attention to bullying awareness, not just on the last school day, last Friday of October, which had to be shifted because of the midterm break, but also ensuring that we are trying our best to respond. We want to remind us all that there will be, and when it comes to children, you will have conflict, you will have challenges, you will have, it's just a normal part of them growing in their interpersonal skills, and so you will have some challenges. However, when you have constant examples of these challenges, that's when they repeated and become unbearable. That's when it is labeled as bullying. So we have constantly name calling you out of your name, constantly hitting and pushing, spreading rumors to make other persons look at you in a negative light, for posting hurtful texts in media. And this was one that we never dealt with as young persons, but our young people now, they're dealing with the social media cyberbullying, teasing and taunting, right? Teasing them and taunting them, they walk past and that type of thing, constantly doing it. That's not acceptable. Stealing or destroying someone's property, telling others to not befriend someone else, or making threats. And these are just some of the examples of ways in which we see bullying manifesting itself. We have a zero tolerance for bullying. Parents, you should have a zero tolerance for bullying, and you should try your best to empower your children not only not to be bullied, but to not be bullies themselves, not to constantly taunt people. And as I said, in this stage of growth, they need guidance, they need support from all persons in their lives to ensure that they learn to be kind persons. And currently the social services and the health promotion unit have a collaboration where they're looking at being kind, and I think that we should really focus in on that as well, because kindness really matters. And on that note, we're going to take leave until next week. We were happy to share all of these updates with you, and we look forward to joining you next Saturday, same time, same place.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean.